If you're a B2B marketing manager, my guess is that you've been trapped on the task wheel for a really long time. You've probably struggled with leadership treating you like a sales support admin function instead of the really strategic person that you could be within their company. You're given a to-do list. There's no strategy. And at the end of the quarter, you're expected to tell them where all the leads are magically coming from. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why this happens and how you can turn it around so that you're no longer treated as sales' doormat and you actually can make a case to your business for having the resources to create and implement a marketing strategy that actually makes sense and is possible to deliver on. Let's start by talking about the real problem. What is actually going on here and why are leaders ignoring the true role of marketing? But importantly, why is it that sales have got it in their head that we're just like an admin support function to them? I believe this stems back to the days when B2B marketing was more traditional, where pre-internet, the only real way that you could engage with a company and get information from them was to deal with the sales representative. So when marketing started to come in and support that, all we could really do was raise awareness of the brand, help people to understand who we were and what we did, but we didn't really have much of a role in terms of actually nurturing and converting them. But what's happened in modern day is that people who are leaders of companies, so let's say you're managing director or CEO, they've seen marketing come a long way, whether it be how they purchase cameras, how they purchase their home, however they buy things for themselves in their own life. They've seen that savvy marketing can get them to make decisions and buy things without the interaction of salespeople. So they then naturally apply that to you and go, okay, your marketing, can't you just get sales? Just do some ads. I saw a lovely ad the other day and I bought something. But what they're doing is they're oversimplifying the process. They don't see that a lot more goes into marketing if it's going to get results, if it's going to get leads, than what they're assuming. So what happens is, on a day-to-day basis, filling up your time with trying loads of different things. And when each thing doesn't work, A, because you didn't give it the time it would have needed to get off the ground, and B, because they're probably trying to get you to do every element yourself instead of outsourcing to specialists and really make that activity or channel work. They're judging too soon. That didn't work, or you're useless, you couldn't do it. Let's try something else. That spiral then is what I call the marketing task wheel, where you're just doing a bunch of stuff that never gets anywhere. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I have literally spoken to CEOs in the past who've told me that they've had 8 failed marketing managers over a 4-year period and still continue to blame the marketing managers as opposed to looking at what their company's doing wrong and getting wrong in how they're viewing marketing. I know for a fact that the reason all of this is happening is because of the name of this podcast, the B2B marketing gap. The B2B marketing gap is the huge void between leaders and the marketing resource in a company where a strategy should be. And what's happening is marketing managers who are by nature an operational role, so they should be delivering on a plan that's been laid out to them by a senior marketer who's at board level. Their job is to operationally deliver that, manage multiple partners, orchestrate things and pull everything together. That job should not feel impossible because there's a difference between hard work and impossible work. So with where you're at now, ask yourself, if I worked as hard as I possibly could, would this challenge be solved? I imagine the answer is no, because it doesn't matter how many tasks you complete for leaders and sales, you are never actually going to arrive in a place where you get the leads they're craving for. And so what's happened is marketing's expected to execute, but not strategize because there isn't that senior marketing force within a business. I consulted businesses for years. I set up my company 9 years ago, I think. And my job was to close that marketing gap by helping marketing managers step up into the role, delivering strategies. And honestly, after a while, I was like, there's too many marketing managers needing this type of support. Let's just build a course instead. So I built the B2B Breakthrough Academy to help marketing managers step up into the role of being more strategic. I really want to say this to you though. It is not your job as marketing manager to create the marketing strategy. That is a gap. That's what the B2B marketing gap is. I just don't feel like it's realistic to get all of you to encourage your CEO to hire in a really expensive marketing director to sit at the boardroom table. I actually think the best way for us to solve this is for you to rise up and learn strategy, learn to get off the marketing task wheel and learn to stand up to leaders in a way that is professional, but means that you're also not a doormat. So when your leaders are asking for results and asking for leads, but won't invest in marketing properly, all you can do is tell them openly and transparently what they should be expecting from their marketing. If they want to keep things small and humble, maybe all you're able to do within your marketing strategy is make sure that customers are satisfied, be the insights department, and yes, support sales in a more strategic way, but nonetheless. Or if they really do want growth to come from marketing, they're going to have to accept that they're going to need to invest in it, hire in the external experts to help you get that plan off the ground. And that's just the way it's going to be. They can't have both and they need to choose. Once they've chosen, you can then decide, is this the right place for me? Is this what I want from my marketing career? Or do I feel like I want to go somewhere else that is going to allow me to execute a more streamlined marketing strategy where I can feel like I'm moving forward, I'm doing something? Okay, so let's talk about the solution to this problem. How can we fix this? I've been in B2B marketing since literally 2005. That was my first B2B sales job, to be fair, but I did do quite a lot of networking, events, and marketing within that role. Something that I learned not so early on, because it took me years to get it right, is that we have to stop saying yes to everything. The agreeable marketer is seen as the weak marketer. We get laughed at. We get called the colouring in team. I'm telling you now, it is not on. I'm not having it anymore. I was talking to someone in my community yesterday who was saying about how furious she feels inside about the fact that sales are just flooding her with stupid tasks that she doesn't need to do. They could literally do them themselves. And she says, I grin and bear it, I power through. And I'm like, what can we do to smash through this mindset that their time is more valuable than yours, that you can't step up to them because at the moment they're just firing it over to management and management's making you do it? How can we internally sell to these people that they're using the resource wrong? And so how do we stop saying yes? It's not about just saying no to people. It's about building an internal relationship with the leaders and salespeople and slowly but surely educating them on the value of marketing and how to step back, assess what we're doing, stop wasting time, and build a marketing strategy that, as part of that marketing strategy, we can address the issues like, why are we spending 25 hours a week doing sales admin work? If it turns out they really do want to continue with that, maybe there's a reason that they need to hire a sales admin support person, because you are not a sales admin support person. It's also about shifting your mindset. Like, you're as valuable as everyone else in your company. What you say matters as well. And so just being told, no, you got to do it, it's not really an answer. You need to be able to have conversations with people to understand, where is it coming from? What is it they're actually trying to solve with the multiple changes they're making in their sales documents? Are they struggling with outreach? Are they finding something difficult that is a bigger issue than just the small change they're trying to make? We don't want to become marketing robots. Plenty of those are going to exist in the future. We have to use our human brain to really problem solve and understand what's going on and figure out how we can make friends out of these people so that we can start to slowly change their mindset. The other thing that you can do to close the B2B marketing gap is you can start to send useful materials to your leaders and sales to educate them on the role of marketing in the modern world. Maybe you can send them a case study of a really good sales activation program that a marketer's run, just to give them some inspiration. There's also a really good episode on my podcast called Do We Need Marketing to Get Sales? The reason that sales managers love this one is that because I used to be a salesperson, I'm really talking about both sides of this. I'm talking about, but people buy from people, so why do we need marketing anyway? And I really have a balanced approach to how I talk about this. I will link that episode in the show notes so that if you want to send it on, it's a really leader-friendly one. I'm not kind of dissing them or anything like maybe I do in some of my other episodes. Sorry. There's also some really good future of sales reports, like the Future of Selling 2025. Who was that one by? Gartner. The Gartner Future of Selling report. Look, a lot of it, like, people rip these reports apart, but I don't care if they're true. They genuinely just help leaders and marketers and salespeople alike just understand the general framework for how things need to work, whether the predictions come true or not. It shows them what the big CEOs and big sales leaders are doing in B2B so that they can really start to see that they're behind the times. They need to get with the program. I also want you to try and push for earlier involvement. Ask yourself this: do you know when they do their business planning? So maybe find out when the new financial year starts. For many companies in the UK, that is 1st of April. So what I'd be doing is in like November, December, or even now time, I'd ask them, when are you planning your priorities for the next coming financial year and setting the targets? I'd like to be involved where appropriate in those types of discussions so that I can understand where this business needs to get to. And I will link in the description box a marketing review template that you can complete, which has got tons of questions that you can ask them. It's actually the template that I run within my marketing strategy course. So you can have that completely free, work through it for yourself. If you get to it and it feels a bit confusing, you're welcome to join us in the academy. There are tons of training videos, sample completed templates, and live sessions with me to give you that extra help. But either way, it's a really good place to start. So I have linked that in the comments. When you've had that early involvement in where the business wants to get to, you can make sure that your marketing is definitely going to directly link with that. Because if you don't know where the business wants to get to, or if you're not involved in early conversations, you're not going to be able to pitch in and offer suggestions about where marketing can help, or even drive the areas of focus that need to be focused on. Because a lot of the time, business owners don't see things the way that us marketers do. If you can get closer to your customers, you're going to understand a bit more about them. And then you'll actually have some really valuable insights to give to your leaders when they're planning their upcoming financial year. And lastly, the best possible thing that you can do to close the B2B marketing gap is learn how to build a marketing strategy. I ask so many marketing managers, have you got a marketing strategy? Most say no, some say yes. When I see these, most of them are more like an action plan, as opposed to a strategic process that takes you completely from where your leaders are at to what you're actually going to do, and for that to feel realistic. The other one we often see is when it's more of a shopping list, like ideas, things you could do, but you don't actually have the resource to do that. So it's just a wish list. What we want to build is a simple, actionable strategy that is in normal language, no fussy models, no fancy jargon, because leaders in companies like yours, they don't have time for it, they don't understand it, they just want simple. So if you've been struggling to get off the marketing task wheel and get buy-in for building a coherent, simple marketing strategy, or maybe they want you to make a strategy and get leads, but they're not giving you that time and they don't see it, let me know in comments what has been your biggest frustration with this issue and some of the things that you've tried. I'm absolutely happy to hop into comments and give you some on-the-spot advice. And make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you get my weekly updates. I'm always here for you to help you rise up, be more strategic, be more confident, kick imposter syndrome to the curb, and build a marketing strategy that works.